Independence. In these lessons, we are going to learn about the Maratha and the Mughals. The Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb invaded the Deccan after the death of Shivaji Maharaj. In defense of the Swaraj, the Maratha fought fiercely under the leadership of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj, and Maharani Tarabai. In defense of the Swaraj, they fought fiercely against the Mughal. Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj, and Maharani Tarabai. This fight against the Mughal by the Marathas for their independence and is called the Maratha War of Independence. Sambhaji Maharaj became the Chhatrapati after Shivaji Maharaj. Sambhaji Maharaj was the eldest son of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He was born on 14 May 1957 at the Purandar Fort. At this time, the Maratha were struggling against the Mughal. The son of Aurangzeb, Prince Akbar, rebelled against his father, but Aurangzeb crushed his rebellion. The Akbar came to the Deccan to take a shelter with Sambhaji. And then the emperor himself descended on the south in 1682 CE to vanquish Akbar. He had with him a huge army and powerful artillery. He asked the Siddhi of Janjira to undertake an expedition against the Maratha. He also won over the Portuguese to his side. Consequently, Sambhaji Maharaj had to face many adversaries at one and the same time. The region of Sambhaji Maharaj marks the first chapter of the Marathas' War of Independence after Shivaji Maharaj. Shivaji Maharaj had given him an excellent education in civil administration and military campaigns. Janjira harassed the Maratha people, so Sambhaji opened a campaign against him. With their artillery, the Marathas laid siege around Siddhi's fort of Dhandarajpuri and battered his fort of Janjira. But Sambhaji was forced to abandon the Janjira campaigns when the Mughals' army invaded the Swaraj. The Mughal emperor and the Portuguese of Goa joined hands against the Sambhaji Maharaj. Sambhaji Maharaj attacked the Portuguese fort and the Portuguese laid siege to the Marathas' fort of Fonda on the Goa border. The Marathas broke through the siege and attacked Goa. The Portuguese were in trouble, but then the Mughals invaded South Konkan and Sambhaji had to abandon the nearly achieved conquest of Goa to confront the Mughals. When Aurangzeb did not succeed in his campaigns against the Marathas, he turned his attentions to the Adil Shahi and Qutub Shahi kingdoms and conquered them. With the wealth and army of Adil Shahi and Qutub Shahi kingdoms, the Mughal positions strengthened. Aurangzeb concentrated all his might on the Marathas and attacked them from all sides. Many Maratha generals like Hambirao Moite was killed in encounter with the Mughals and Sambhaji Maharaj's military strength weakened. Mukarrab Khan was in charge of Kolhapur province. When Sambhaji was at the Sangameshwar in Konkan, he raided the place and captured Sambhaji Maharaj. Sambhaji Maharaj was brutally put to the death on 11th March 1689 by the order of the emperor. Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj faced death bravely and with self-respect. Sambhaji Maharaj wrote the Buddha Bhushanam, a book in Sanskrit on polity. Under the most adverse circumstances, Sambhaji fought the Mughals for 9 years. The death of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj made Aurangzeb hopeful of the finally conquering the Maratha kingdom. The death of Sambhaji incited the Marathas greatly. The Marathas readied themselves to fight against the Mughals and put Rajaram Maharaj The Marathas readily themselves to fight against the Mughals and put Rajaram Maharaj, Sambhaji Maharaj's brother, on the throne. Zulfikar Khan was sent to Aurangzeb to besiege Raigad. Rajaram Maharaj, his wife Maharani Tarabai, Sambhaji Maharaj's wife Maharani Yesubai and son Shahu were in the Raigad fort. It was deemed unsafe for the royal family to stay together, so Rajaram Maharaj decided to escape from Raigad to Jinji. The leadership of Raigad was handed over to Maharani Yesubai. Rajaram Maharaj escaped from the besieged Raigad from Raigad fort on 5th April 1689 and headed toward Jinji. The fort of Jinji was impregnable and difficult for the Mughals to capture. Rajaram reached Jinji with a few of his trusted men like Prahlad Niraji, Khando Ballar and Rupaji Bhosle. The Maratha War of Independence had thus spread over an extensive area and also reached Jinji. Rajaram Maharaj had assigned the duty of fighting the Mughals to Ramchandra Pant Amatya, Shankaraji Narayan Sachiv, Santaji Ghorpade and Dhanaji Jadhav before leaving for Jinji. The Mughals captured Raigad in November 1689 and put Maharani Yesubai and Shahu under arrest. The situation was critical for the Marathas as Aurangzeb was also trying to entice the Maratha Sardars to his side by promising them watans and jagirs. To thwart the Mughals' plan, Rajaram Maharaj used the same tactics and promised that the Maratha Sardars who could capture the Mughals' territories could make it their jagir. Due to this, many capable Sardars came forward and started invading Mughals' territories and defeating the Mughals' generals with vigor. Santaji and Dhanaji were forefront in these actions, and their surprise attacks and guerrilla tactics rendered the enormous war material and artillery of the Mughals useless. The Mughals were at their wits' end and during one surprise attack, Santaji Ghorpade and Vithoji Chaman cut and carried away the golden pinnacle of Emperor's strength. After capturing the Raigad, the Emperor sent Zulfikar Khan to capture Jinji. He laid siege to the fort of Jinji and the Marathas fought bravely. The fight went for 8 years and Santaji and Dhanaji attacked the Mughal forces from outside. After Rajaram Maharaj escaped from the siege, Zulfikar Khan captured the fort of Jinji. When Rajaram returned to Maharashtra, the Marathas' activities in the area accelerated and they attacked the Mughals region of Khandesh, Warhad. After a short illness, Rajaram Maharaj died at Sinhgarh in March 1700. After the death of Rajaram Maharaj, Aurangzeb assumed that the Maratha would become a weak and be easily defeated. But his wife Maharani Tarabai continued the Maratha War of Independence with determination. She was assisted by many capable Sardars. While Khanderao Dabhade defeated the Mughals and conquered Ahmedabad, Nemaji Shinde crossed the Narmada river and penetrated into Malwa. The Mughals Maratha conflicts continued for 25 years and ended only after the death of Aurangzeb in Ahmednagar in 1707. The Mughals had failed to subdue the Marathas and their imperialist greed was defeated by the Marathas' love for nation. Important points of this lesson.